are. This is it. This is episode 404 of No Laugh Track Podcast. We're here at Acme Comedy Company in Minneapolis because it's their podcast featuring who? The headliners each week here on this stage at Acme. And this week I'm with a first-time guest. We just met, 10 minutes ago, maybe 15? We'll say 15. We go way back.
Yeah.
JR De Guzman is here with me.
Thank you for having me, and it's been a really, really good 15 minutes. This entire time, I've been really feeling it.
I mean, that's why I didn't know, because it flew by. You would have told me 1 minute, be like, oh, maybe 5 hours. I don't know.
It's been a blur.
Yeah. Well, we've both learned so much already in a short amount of time.
That
but,
is true.
We're going to continue on here, where people actually get to listen to it.
Cool.
So welcome to Acme. I guess today's your second time in the building.
Yeah.
Yeah?
My first time was last night, and then was the first show. It was super. It was a blast, super fun, and this second time in here is just as good.
Audience is a little smaller right now.
A little bit smaller, but a much hotter crowd. Very responsive. Yeah, that crowd last night. Oh man, no, this is good.
So something I like to ask people that when it's their first time. Especially, do you have any history at all whatsoever in Minnesota, with Minnesota?
Yeah, me in Minnesota, what is our history? I've been to Duluth a few times, and
for what? For entertainment?
Yeah, my own entertainment. I just want to see what's up. No, it was, I've done a few colleges out here. So, I forget the names of the colleges. There's
You did college shows in Duluth, you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay, probably Minnesota Duluth, maybe?
Probably. And then there was
Scholastica,
St. Scholastica, there we go. Oh, they're a Catholic school, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I remember that because I had to do Super Clean. And, I remember that show.
Okay. Yeah. Well, welcome to the heart of Minnesota.
Yeah.
Which is not Duluth. I've lived in Duluth.
I thought it was the heart the whole time. So.
No, Duluth is known for gray skies.
Oh.
Yeah, I lived there for several years, and it's a depressing place.
Okay.
They could use comedy, more comedy.
Yeah, it was pretty. It was very snowy at the time. I remember that was one of my first. I call it a blizzard. I think it's just snow. I was in it. I was like, man, this is a blizzard, huh? You guys got a blizzard everywhere. I don't even know what a blizzard is, so I think I just overuse that term all the time. But anytime it snows, I'm like, man, you guys, there's a blizzard out there.
So, okay, along those lines, what does the word flurries mean to you?
It's a treat from McDonald's. It is a very delicious treat. You can mix in candies and toppings of your choice, and then the blizzard is the one from Dairy Queen. It's the same thing, but
exactly.
Yeah, they're the same. So are they different?
No, they're the same, but
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. But you could go out and be like, are we experiencing flurries or are we experiencing a blizzard? But yeah. You're right.
So they could be the same.
No, they're different. A blizzard's definitely more. But I love the is there a third? Is there a third fast food restaurant with a
They've got to have it. McFlurry, Blizzard, and then Wendy's just I don't know what
the Wendy's snowstorm?
Is that what it's Frosty?
Oh,
there's just a Frosty.
Yeah, there we go. That's close enough, yeah.
And you would kind of say that outside. It's Frosty out.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, there's a third one.
Yeah.
That's so obvious that
Snow
I've never
is so
made
fun,
all those
I
connections.
guess. Everyone's like, let's make it into a treat.
Yeah.
This weather.
Exactly. So I watched your show last night. Not from here. I watched from home. I did the Zoom.
Oh, cool.
I did the Zoom option.
I'm so interested in how that experience was because I was doing a lot of riffing in the room.
Yes.
So I don't know how that turns out on the Zoom.
Not
because you can't really tell who's who.
You can't see them. But you can't always see them when you're in the club. You know, sometimes you could be sitting, to the one side or the other, back, forth, and you don't always see who's being addressed. So, so it doesn't affect that too much. And the mics you can pick up, some things.
Yeah, because I got to make that practice as a comic to repeat what they say.
That's just going to say that to
and
you.
then comment on it. I thought about that last night. I was like, I wonder in a Zoom or if I get the recording of the set, what that would look like. So tonight I got to work on that. But there was this. Did you see the part where I was singing about this guy and his dad?
Of course.
That was my favorite part of the night. Even this morning I was singing it in the shower. Anyways.
JR.
Yeah.
So that's one of my first impressions of you, first of all, and I've read this about you as well, and I got this impression of you. You look freaking clean cut as can be. You look like you could get away with just about anything on stage.
Yeah, yeah.
and you are creating freaking, what are they called? Earworms.
Okay.
You are creating earworms. Your songs that you performed, that one that you were referencing, and at least 2 other ones. I'm like, humming them all night last night.
Yeah.
This morning.
Oh, that's nice.
Yes.
You know, words of affirmation is my love language, so don't compliment me too hard, because then I won't be able to leave this place. I'm like, I just feel so loved here.
I told you we're only doing about a half hour.
Okay, that's good. That's good. Yeah, no, like the earworm thing. That's cool. That's good to know, because I feel like with musical comedy, it has to be catchy in some way. Like, I think the stigma with musical comedy being bad is like a lot of times the songs don't sound good. So that I appreciate that.
Yeah,
thank you.
So you said that. What's because there's some people are like, oh, he needs a guitar on stage.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
I totally understand it. Like, if I was their therapist, I'd be like, I validate you, you know? I validate what you're going through, son, but that's some issues you got to work out. Yeah. But, because, like, I think it's helped me just see, I went to, like, Europe and Asia for a little bit doing stand-up. Yeah. It was a random story. I was, like, backpacking and working odd jobs and doing stand-up.
Yeah.
And I noticed in their comedy scene, there's no, like, purist type thing where it's like, oh, it's only stand-up. So there would be all kinds of different stand-up styles, and everyone was cool with it. So it was a little bit more creative.
You're saying there's no comedy snobs?
No. And if there are, it's just like how funny it is, or it's like, even if you're going in a unique way, is it hack because we've seen a musical comic do that 1,000 times?
Yeah.
So there was that, but I had seen some of the most unique comics I'd ever seen out there. So then when I came back out here, I was a little bit braver to just like do what I do type thing. Yeah. Because in the beginning, I almost dropped the guitar. I was like, all right, that guy didn't like it at the open mic, so I'm not going to do it anymore.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
First time on stage, you did it with a guitar.
First time on stage was, so for the first few months, I didn't have the guitar. So it was like...
You didn't? Okay.
No, yeah. I was doing a stand-up comedy class that the graduation is an open mic. And that was my first thing.
In college it was?
I did start in college, yeah. So that wasn't the same class. In college, that one was like almost like a vaudeville type class where they had us do sketch, improv, stand-up, musical comedy, and we even did a radio play.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so they're just exploring all the different types of comedy. So there's another reality where I could have been this really dope radio play artist.
They're sort of popping up right now. People reading.
It's true, actually.
Right?
Huh? Yeah, with podcasts.
Yeah, the people are like doing like script readings of...
I actually think it's pretty sick.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
What was the big one I just saw that had all these celebrities doing it? Oh, fuck, I can't...
Was it like a table read?
Yeah.
With Shia LaBeouf on it?
No.
Okay.
But...
I only watch stuff with Shia LaBeouf in it, so I don't know what it's gonna be.
What if that was the rest of the podcast? Everything I brought up, you're like, that's not a Shia. No,
the Shia LaBeouf was in that song. No, man, I can't resonate with any of this.
Has Shia LaBeouf watched that at least? Anything?
Yeah.
Does he know people in that? Could we make any connection whatsoever?
Yeah. Podcast title: Was Shia in that?
Yeah. Hilarious. Well, I don't want to go too far past the show last night. I don't think I said how funny I thought it was.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Thanks, man.
I thought it was really good.
Awesome. I appreciate that.
So how do I say this? It's been obviously it's been a crazy last year for people. The amount of time on stage for people has gone down a ton. Where are you now versus where you maybe would have been without a pandemic that we're dealing with?
Ooh.
How much has it slowed you down?
Oh, weird sound with the coffee. Oh, that surprised me. Well, it's funny. I feel like I quit comedy 3 times during the pandemic.
Yeah.
That's like, half true. But like, I mean, it's been I didn't quit comedy, but it was like during the pandemic, I've become so many other things. And I mean that in the sense of, all right, I like dabbled in some more like podcasting stuff. I dabbled in making videos. I'm learning how to make beats on Logic right now. So it's that's the positive part of it.
Yeah.
I would say it goes in cycles of, in the beginning I was like, it's like do you watch Game of Thrones?
Oh yeah.
Shia LaBeouf's not in it. So
are we sure?
That's true. That's true. He could have made like one of those random cameos. Like I think Ed Sheeran made a cameo.
Yeah.
in that, right.
Uh-huh.
So,
Yeah, annoyed a ton of people.
yeah. Well, like Jamie Lannister, and spoiler alert if anyone's listening to this, and for some reason now you're getting into Game of Thrones, but it's too late. So
Yeah.
Jamie Lannister, like when he loses his hand and like he's like, "Who am I? What's my identity?"
Yeah.
I felt that in the first like 2 months because I was just like staying at home. I was just exercising a lot, but I realized I get so much value from like I'm a comedian. I do stand up, and then the positive of that was I started to, I guess, become a fuller person.
Yeah.
And then now being back on stage, kind of the blessing was like, I don't think I did as much like riffing and improv stuff before the pandemic. Like I kind of did it, but now like doing Zooms, that's kind of a necessary skill. And every time I do a show, it's usually like an outdoor show.
Yeah.
So you have to comment on something. Like I did a show at, and there was trains going by. We were outdoor. This is on Saturday before this week.
Oh, okay.
And it was like you can't just have a train go by and
not
pretend like there's not a train going by. So it's just that's been the good of it, is like some new skills with a stand-up.
There's been an independent baseball team in St. Paul for 20-some years. Actually, side note, they're going to be a Minnesota Twins affiliate starting this year, the AAA baseball affiliate.
Sweet.
But anyway, the St. Paul Saints, they used to have a stadium in an area of kind of an industrial area in St. Paul, and right behind the outfield fence was a train track. It didn't stop. Games going on, trains go by, and the announcer could, pitchers in mid windup, but the trains going by, the announcer every time would go, train.
I guess that's all you need to do.
Yeah.
Wait, and who's he's saying it to the stadium or on for the TV?
No, for the in-stadium announcer. Yeah. Train. And then every now and then the train will would do the little little acknowledgement back.
So now it's like a part of the game.
It was.
Cool.
They've since moved to a more state-of-the-art stadium in a different part of town.
Gotcha.
In any case, I could see my phone was just going off there. I was just getting a message from my kids' school, and that reminds me of something that I wanted to ask you about.
Okay. Yeah.
So during this pandemic, all this, it flipped a lot of things upside down. A lot of kids don't go to school. They learn from home.
Yeah.
How would you have been as a student? Distance learning, not going to school and kind of being on your own, or maybe your parents are kind of keeping an eye on you, maybe not. How would you have handled that?
Well, I think my parents would be pretty hardcore about it, though. So it's like I think I'd rather go to school.
Yeah.
At school, because like my parents were pretty strict, so it'd be a pretty hardcore school. But that being said, being at home, I feel like there's just so much distractions, and as a kid today, like you have your iPad, which is an unlimited world. Yeah. My nephew was doing distance learning, and so all my family moved back in together like at the beginning of the pandemic. So, and it was like I remember it was good for him because he had all of us sort of training him. It was like he was training for a fight or something. Because it was like, all right, you got math, you got reading, and then I would like read the bedtime books. I had the fun, like I was the closer of the night.
Oh,
yeah. It's like,
love it.
So I think if I had that would be pretty awesome.
Yeah. Well, I mean, my goodness, that'd be better than going to school with all that help.
A personalized team.
Hell yeah. My dad, growing up, was a math teacher, and I just thought of this, like if I needed help with something, you'd think that was the best thing to have at home.
Yeah.
Like, well, I mean, I basically have, the answer book
He's here.
upstairs.
Yeah.
Oh, no. I'd be like, Dad, can you help me with, well, what do you think it is?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
I feel like he'd probably go above and beyond to make it tougher on you.
Completely.
Like,
Yeah.
Nobody's going to think my son has it easy. I don't know. I made your dad a super hardcore Texan cowboy, so I hope that's what he was.
Which couldn't be farther from the truth, actually.
Okay.
He's more like mild-mannered Scandinavian.
No. Nice.
Oh, that's funny. Let's see. What else should we talk about here? I want. So you were born in the Philippines. I have learned.
Yeah.
I learned that when you came here, your family lived in a storage unit.
Yeah.
That you're talking about on stage.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not spilling the beans on anything
no.
too much. That's insane. That's crazy. So in my little bit of research that I did on that part of your story, I looked up some stories about what it's like to live in a storage locker. Okay. And I found a guy that had a video on YouTube that has 11 million views.
What?
JR.
Okay.
Yes.
Is his channel like running from his storage locker right now, or is it like he talks about that story?
It's been there for 4 years.
Okay,
it's a 4-year-old
gotcha.
video, and it's the title of it was like living in a storage unit for 2 months.
Yeah.
And he brings the thing in there, and he's got a hot plate, a toaster oven, bed, running water that he set up.
Yeah.
He has an extension cord coming from like the hallway through, and he like winded it around this cord or this bar, so you can't really see it.
Yeah.
Wild.
You know, I lived in a van for like a year.
Yes, I learned that about you too.
For some reason in my head, I was like, "Did I tell you that?" I was like,
nope.
I guess
I heard you tell somebody else about
15 minutes
that.
ago. Yeah. No, it was like, So when I think of this dude, I think of that where it's like setting up the little tiny stove and all that stuff. But yeah, so I want to clarify every time people ask about it. So what we lived in, it was actually like a garage that was converted into like a little studio.
Sure.
So a lot of people think like we're just like dying in there like every day.
No, but it wasn't. You're also saying it wasn't for very long.
Yeah.
Right?
It was like it was like our first thing in LA. And then we lived with family for a little bit, and then my mom worked her way up, moving on up. But I'm interested in this video. Mm-hmm. So what's he? Is it he giving like a tour type of? Is like that kind of video?
And saying like, and he's giving tips like, here's the thing, like the number one thing is you have to live to not be seen. Like you need to try to be invisible.
Well, it's a mistake making an 11 million viewed video.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah. Now it's
I don't. He's got to move a lot.
Yeah, but actually, I think that's it is probably interesting because if it had 11 million views, that means a lot of people are trying to do that lifestyle or something.
Yeah, researching, right? Mm-hmm. Sort of like like I needed help trying to fix my dryer, clothes dryer at home. I looked up a YouTube video.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah.
So tell me, because I did hear you talk about this someplace else, but tell me and the listeners of this podcast.
Sure.
You lived in what type of vehicle, and for how long?
Yeah, so I lived in a Ford Transit 250. It was medium roof. So if that means anything to anyone out there, best way I can describe it, it's the same model as the Amazon van.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so you think you're gonna get a nice like delivered, whatever you ordered a video game or something in Amazon, and it's just me sleeping outside your house. You're like, hey, is that my package? Hey, keep it down.
Fucking suspicious, man.
Yeah.
So when was this?
This was, let's see, June 2019 to basically about the pandemic starting. And then I still have the van now. I'm gonna sell it, I think. So
who's living in it now?
Just a family of raccoons. I don't know. I don't know. It's parked at my parents' driveway now. I got my own apartment now during the last 2 months because I went from the van to my parents' place during the pandemic, and then I was just like there for so long that I was like, I think I need to move somewhere now.
Yeah.
But I just didn't know how long everything was going to last. So, but the van was pretty awesome.
Stealth camping. That's what it's referred to as.
That's
sometimes.
the word. Yeah.
Yeah. Stealth. Yeah. Urban camping.
Urban camping. Stealth camping.
Stealth camping.
It's just a cool way to say like you're sleeping in a car in the city. Because I would do in LA. I was doing it. I was stealth camping, and like the nice thing was I could live anywhere. So I was like, oh, I live in Beverly Hills today, or like I'm from Marina Del Rey. What's the juice? And and then, but when I was traveling, I would go to like national parks and do BLM land or U.S. Forest Service land, which was like free camping.
What? Because that's the second time I've seen that BLM land.
Yeah,
and it's
I know.
clearly not Black Lives
it's
Matter.
It's not Black Lives Matter land, but I mean, hey,
what does it stand
support
for?
The cause. It's what is it? It's Bureau of Land Management.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't even put those two together. Yeah.
They didn't know that acronym already existed. Or,
I have no idea.
Who was first, but
maybe they were. I don't know. Maybe they're in cahoots.
I mean, the
Camping.
Wrestling Federation had to change their name.
That's right.
You know?
That's right. Yeah. I mean, I guess like the U.S. Park Service is just super chill.
They're like,
yeah, that's
we
cool.
can coexist. You're not stepping on our toes. We're cool.
They're not doing much anyways. So
yeah, right. So I also looked up tips for stealth camping.
Okay.
Yeah, I
Oh,
want to
dude,
know
this
if
is
you
the best.
I want to know if you factored these in.
Yeah.
It says stealth camping can be easily done in most small rigs.
Yeah.
Like
That's
vans.
what they call it, yep.
How's your rig?
Yeah.
Like vans or truck campers or other RVs or travel trailers. You may find it a little more complicated. Here's the first tip they have. Don't go wild with the paint.
Yeah.
Did you ever factor that in?
Oh, so many people told me, oh, you got to do a cool paint job on this thing. Because I had just the typical classic creepy white van. You know, like it was... So they were like, yeah,
rape
man, you gotta,
van,
yeah,
people call
basically
them.
I had a rape van, and that's what I said when I was looking for it on Facebook. It's like, rape van for sale, and all these things popped up. All these things popped up.
Oh god.
So yeah, they're so surprisingly affordable. But no, so like I had the white van that just looks kind of like creepy.
Yeah.
So people
shady.
thought I should paint it to make it look cool, but because I wanted to park in cities sometimes, or if I'm on tour, like. Usually the club's not going to be in the middle of the forest. It's, you know, if I was to park somewhere in Minneapolis and I was driving here, I'd like to have a way to park, if I had to, somewhere that's more like a public area in the city.
Yeah.
Preferably, I would always park outside of cafes and yoga studios. Because it was like, I would wake up, go to a yoga studio, do yoga, shower, and then, because they had a shower.
Oh.
Yeah.
Good thinking.
So I got my fitness and my shower in, and then get coffee, and then just go to the next city. But
the Wi-Fi, of course, too.
Dude, oh my, yes.
Right?
I just buy a coffee, now I have your Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
See, these are all trade secrets that aren't even on those tips probably.
Oh no, that's on the. That's
Oh, is that on there?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know if I got to that one.
Because how to steal someone's Wi-Fi. But I never painted it because of that. It makes it so obvious that someone's sleeping in there, and then it's also dangerous. Like if you paint it and then it's obvious that you're sleeping in there. It's how many dollars worth of stuff are you traveling with?
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
You didn't consider having one of those like wraparound plastic things with your face on it, kind of advertise your tour?
Yeah. I'm in here, guys. Yeah, the guy from the show, he's right in the parking lot.
Yeah, you can see me tonight. Or right now if you look in the window.
Yeah, just come on in.
Yeah, we pretty much hit the other tips. Be mindful of your behavior. Running a generator, loud music can bring attention. And then find the right location, and also it isn't for everyone, it says here.
Oh, 100%.
I'm sure it would, yeah.
A lot of people were asking me about it who seemed like, when I started it, they're like, dude, I hate my job, man. I want to just get out, do this. And I just told them, like, there's a lot of other stuff that isn't in the Instagram video where it's like two hot young people, like, waking up and like drinking some pour over, and
right.
They open the thing and it's like
the sun's shining.
Yeah, they just jump out and they're snowboarding all of a sudden.
Right.
yeah. I was like, no, it's not always that. So just be ready.
Yeah, that loving couple had to find a place to poop this morning.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't forget that.
And they had to argue about whose turn it is to like dump the poop if they have a toilet in the van.
Right.
Yeah, it's like, no, I dumped the poop the last 7 times. You never dump the poop. All right, let's make this snowboarding video.
Exactly. Yeah. I love that. I love that so much. So I heard you say someplace that music was your first love.
Yeah.
True?
Ooh, yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
To this day, still?
To this day.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like, I think I just get so much peace from music. And comedy is, I love comedy, but it's definitely more, it's stress and tension, but it's necessary. Part of it, like getting someone to the part of the joke where it's like super tense and then the laugh. But like at the end of the night, I'll go back to my hotel room and play music to like go to sleep.
Okay.
Yeah. And it was like, I've been playing music since I was pretty, like 3rd grade. I was in choir. I picked up the drums in 8th grade, and then guitar when I was in high school, and like piano and everything. So it's just kind of I don't know. I can't remove myself from music.
And you taught it for a little bit too.
I did.
Right?
Yeah. Oh man, yes. Those are some good times.
Really? What age group was it?
So I did. Okay, where do I start on this? I worked at a music studio called Sing Inc.
Okay.
Now defunct, so that's why I can say their company name. And it was like a voice training studio. So like people would come into these private little studio booths and do vocal lessons. Okay. And then we got a contract with a school to create like like basically like a Glee type show.
Okay.
I don't know what those are called. but we were hired to do it.
Okay.
So I had kindergarten through 5th grade. And so I would show up like 8 o'clock, work with the kindergartners, at 9 o'clock, 1st grade, and so on and so forth. And I would, it was so funny because like our company would just like take the gig and be like, all right, just show up. You know what to do. Like I'm just in the classroom with a bunch of kids. I have no idea what to do. I've never worked in a classroom, but we had to teach them choreography, which I don't do. So I'm like kindergartners. Yeah. So I thought of really basic stuff, and my other teachers that worked at the studio were laughing at me because like they were thinking of complex dance moves. I just thought if you say sky in the song, let's do this.
Yes. It's the
Right?
first thing I thought.
Yeah, exactly. If you say like I'm feeling sad, just be sad.
Yeah.
Like so my choreography was really easy.
The
But-
itsy bitsy
Yeah.
spider.
I mean, that's how people even learn words, right?
Yeah.
So,
Oh yeah.
yeah, so I worked there. I did that, vocal lessons, which both were actually, I found teaching really fulfilling. And then I also taught drums and guitar at another studio.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so I had like 3 jobs. This is all while doing stand-up, too.
No kidding.
Yeah. It was
Teaching
crazy.
drums.
Yeah.
What kind of person gets into drums? Is there a
Type of person?
yeah? Is there a type of person that gets into drumming?
I think, okay, my first instinct is you want to play music, but you don't want to learn all the notes.
Okay.
So you're just like, yeah, this, but it's really hard coordination too. So let's see, a lot of my
Oh, I
students,
love doing the air drumming to like my favorite songs.
yeah. It's
Uh-huh.
it's therapeutic too. I would say if you want to like vent out musically in that way, it's perfect. Because I had this girl who was, she wanted to learn Christian songs,
Okay.
but on drums, and I didn't even.
What kind of challenge? Holy, that's a
Yeah,
interesting challenge.
yeah. It was so. I mean, the beats weren't like really crazy or anything. So, but I also saw it as like maybe I'm like assuming way too much and projecting on this little girl because I went to Catholic school.
Sure.
But I'm like, she's probably really constricted, and this is her only outlet to like let out all this stuff.
She's craving rock and roll, but she's settling for Christian music.
Yeah,
maybe, huh?
yeah. It was like this balance of the two worlds. So I don't know. I just think it's a good cathartic place.
Sure.
Drums.
So, but now these days, the guitar is only when you're traveling with. There's no like.
Yeah, but I might. So again, with the pandemic and doing Zooms, I might change that. Like, I kind of want to have maybe someday like a bigger show with like, I don't know, like a loop station or MPC to like play the beat, or even one day like a band or something, and be able to do stuff like that. Because I just, I don't know. I think I was kind of making everything smaller to travel, one, but also in the beginning, because I would hear so many things like, "Oh, music is hack with comedy." Now I feel like after not having comedy regular for so long, I was like, when I come back, I just want to just do it the way I want to do it.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck him. Greg Barron was here last week, and and he hosts a podcast.
Okay.
It's called "Stop Taking Bullshit from Fuckers."
Does he? Oh, hell yeah. Does he do it live? Like he talks?
Well,
or-
he's doing. You can hire him as a life coach now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what
It's
you're
like-
doing there, but what you just said about like I'm just going to do what I want to do. That's
Yeah.
sort of like what he's preaching now.
That's
Is
what he's
don't
talking
stop
about?
taking bullshit from fuckers.
Wow.
If people are gonna give you a hard time about doing shit, fuck them.
Is that basically the moral of the podcast? Is
Well,
like-
I mean, it's based on relationships mostly. Being
okay,
treated,
okay.
not
Yeah.
getting what you want from other people or being treated
Gotcha.
poorly and stuff.
I like that idea though. It is that kind of thing. Because we sort of, I watched a lot of UFC, and Dan Hooker from New Zealand was talking about. You guys actually kind of look similar, by the way. Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
I feel bad for him. Okay.
no, well, so like, he was saying something like, "Don't take criticism from somebody you wouldn't come to for advice."
Yeah.
So I like that because it's like, why am I even listening to these people? Why am I caring about this opinion when it's like it's not helpful? It's not serving what I'm trying to do. So then, but somebody who I should like take a criticism from that might be helpful is like, a comic who I like what they're doing
Yeah.
and what they're about.
Yeah, I got to say that. So when you were talking, like, well, maybe what you want to do in the future, Reggie Watts, something
Yeah.
kind of like what he does, right?
I like what
Sort
he does.
of?
I literally made a note last night. It was just a list of all my favorite musical comedians, and then just live musicians, and then just like musicals that I've seen. And like, okay, is there something in here that I just combine all this?
Yeah.
It was like Tenacious D, Flight of the Conchords, Bo Burnham, Stephen Lynch. I was just thinking of, and have you seen Mark Rebillet or Rebillette? I forget how to say his last name.
Based on what you're saying, it's probably Rebelle, and no, I haven't.
Okay. He does a lot of like live looping stuff that's just so good, and it's like Reggie Watts, but almost more of a dance party too.
Okay.
So it's like a full on. So I liked seeing what he does too, and it made me think of like, well, those guys aren't like Reggie Watts isn't thinking like, oh, this comic in the back of the room said this was hack, so
No,
I'm not gonna do looping anymore.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I saw when I first saw Reggie Watts, it was live.
Oh wow!
And he was like filling in on a show where he wasn't even supposed to be there, and I had never heard of him, never seen him. So my mind was blown.
I'm
seeing
so
him for
interested
the first
in how
time.
it was. Yeah,
it was probably 10 years ago, 12 years ago.
Yeah.
It was amazing. I thought he
cool.
was from England because he was talking with a British accent for most of the show.
Yeah.
And when he did it like English, just like a norm, like
and
sounding
then
like
just
me,
switches over.
I thought he was putting that on. I
That's
thought the British
so
accent was
funny.
really his.
Yeah.
I was like, this guy's so interesting. It's so deep. And
Yeah.
He's not even from here.
Yeah.
That's probably why I haven't heard of him.
Yeah. And like, oh, these comedians from London must all do this.
yeah, right.
Have you seen Rory Scovel?
Yeah.
So I don't know when he's here if he does that, but I've seen a few of his like sets that are recorded and put out that like where he'll kind of do a character in the beginning, like a German accent for like 10 minutes or something. Did he do that at the club?
I don't remember. I don't know.
Okay.
He did? Brandon says he did. Okay. 7 years
so
ago.
It seems like he just sometimes does it, sometimes doesn't. But I love that stuff.
Yeah.
It's like something kind of playful, kind of fun. And it just shows there's so many different ways to do comedy.
Absolutely. We should, before we're done here, we should mention that if people, there's many opportunities. You're here at Acme through the weekend, 2 shows on Friday and 2 shows on Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
So check Acme's website if you want to get tickets or call. Oh my goodness! I just forgot what I was going to say. I know. If for some reason you can't come to the club, which we have the social distancing, you commented about the plexiglass between some of the seats last night. You even made up a little improv song where you included it last night. But so we're also doing the Zoom feature, which I watched last night, so people can pay and watch from home.
Sweet.
But also, you still have a thing on Netflix.
I do.
Yeah.
The comedy lineup, 15-minute special.
When I remember hosting this podcast, and when they first announced that 15-minute specials were coming out, I was asking comedians, I'm like, what do you think? Like, is 15 minutes
I'm
like a
interested in
slap
what they
in the
said.
face, or is it awesome because it's more opportunities?
Mm-hmm.
So when it was presented to you, did you know 15-minute was even an option for people, that was coming, and what was your thought?
Yeah, I loved it.
You did. Okay.
And do you remember? Because so at the same time, I think Andrew Schultz put out 4 15-minute things.
Yeah.
And he was saying how like it was kind of a weird response to that. But I think 15 minutes is kind of a perfect thing to put out, where it's like you can put out a 5-minute set on a late night thing, and it's like very compact, but you don't fully know the person. Sometimes an hour is like, maybe it's not everyone's actually watching the full hour all the time.
Yeah.
So I thought 15 was a pretty good in between. I mean, 30 is also good, too. I was like, 30 is actually right in between.
Netflix is actually just, what, Brandon? They're on the phone. They want to offer 2 hours? Is that
a
too
2-hour
much?
special?
You're okay? Or?
Let's do it, man.
Let's do it.
I'm just going to riff the whole time. Are they cool with that?
I think so. Did you see Ronnie Chang just signed 3 specials?
Wow.
With Netflix. They just announced that, last night or this morning?
I would imagine he's probably got other stuff within that deal, like
it's 2
movies
stand-up
or something.
specials and then where they're going to follow him across the country going to different Chinatowns.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's sick.
with some other guy who I...
Is that connected to the special?
No.
Okay.
It's 3 separate things.
Gotcha.
All with Netflix.
Yeah, that's amazing. And he's got a pretty cool story, because I think he's from Malaysia, did stand up in Australia, right?
Yeah.
Something like that.
He's been on this podcast one time.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
When was that?
I mean, he was on the Daily Show.
Yeah,
so not
yeah.
that long ago.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Did he talk about all that stuff?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And then
that's
one
cool.
time I asked, and then at one point I asked him about something about doing the interviews where people, just like clueless. And he was like, "Come on, man, I can't answer that."
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
You're right. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the magic of the show. You can't tell me that. Of course you can't tell me that.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah.
But no, he's fantastic on that show. He's absolutely fantastic. So I'm looking over here. I think we mentioned all that stuff. Social media. I saw on your Instagram, this is so funny, and I'm going to squeeze this in here. This is old. I'm going back
Yeah.
a year here on your Instagram.
This is good for me to go back into my life. Who am I?
This is explain this to me. Why would you do this? No.
Yeah.
You must have done a screenshot of your phone, and it has Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, and you titled that folder "Short-Term Validation."
Oh man, I'm so
which is fucking nailed it.
I'm so deep. Now that I hear that, I remember. Like that's right. I'm a philosopher.
So how are you using social media these days?
Now,
Yeah.
man, I always have this talk with a circle of friends of like, what's your relationship to social media? Because it really is that. Like, so now I try as much as I can to just use it to, like, either promote something if I need to do like a business thing, or if there's something creative that I want someone to see this and connect with another human being, I'll do that. But I try not to get too caught up in like looking at all the likes and comments and stuff like that, which is so hard. Just the DMs, and only if they're cute. But no, like I don't know how to. I even do this thing now where I delete it from my phone for a few days and then come back on
the whole app.
Yeah. So my cousin, super cool dude. We talk about a lot of this stuff, like mental health and social media and everything.
It's real.
It's so real. And he was checking in on me because I wasn't posting for like a week and a half.
Yeah.
So he thought maybe something happened, and I was like, it's actually the opposite. I'm super happy, so I'm just not on social media right now. And then when I'm posting all the time, that's when you should check in on me.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm here at the grocery store. It's like, give me a call. I am not okay.
Take that as a call for help.
It's a call
I
for
love
help.
that.
Yeah,
SOS. That's what I'm really saying.
That's why I'm saying my location in that. I'm at the grocery store. Come get me.
That's right.
I'm broken. Yeah.
Oh, that's hilarious. Let's end it there. People need to come out and see you, either via Zoom, in the club, in person would be even better. Your album, Dual Citizen?
Yep, Dual Citizen.
Is available everywhere you can find that stuff. I listened to it on an app the other day.
Cool.
It's fantastic. I heard some of the stuff here at the club, but not all of it. There's way more that you aren't doing here at the club. So.
Yeah, I would say, like, if you want to hear a full hour and also hear me before my voice dropped and hit puberty, listen to Dual Citizen. And it's a clean album, so that one you can listen with your family. And then if you want something short and to see a video of, watch the Netflix 15.
There we go.
Yeah, but if you want to see the live riffing experience, come on down to the club.
Come on down to Acme.
Come on down to Acme.
JR, thank you.
Thank you. It's been a blast.